why I gave up my, we'll say, typical career goal to pursue healing and being able to provide service in this capacity. So a little bit about my story is I was headed down the direction to become an LCSW, providing clinical therapy to individuals, which I loved very much. What I've learned throughout my journey is that we are multifaceted beings. We have all of these elements that make us up: our mental, our emotional, our physical, our spiritual self. I found it very difficult to compartmentalize my work into just the mental health field, or just condensing the information into just one area of focus. When we are multidimensional beings, we are multifaceted beings. We have all of these elements that comprise us. And when I was working with clients in that capacity, I'm looking at the holistic, all of the pieces that make this individual. And I found that within my heart and my being, I could not get behind diagnosing people with severe disorders when a lot of the individuals, and I'm not downing the community, a lot of the individuals that I worked with, after working consistently with them, their perceived issues had gone away. What was it? It was because they had the support. We were working on, I was doing a lot of the things I was learning for myself with my clients, not just using typical therapeutic models. Yes, I was incorporating those, but I was also incorporating within that deep subconscious work, also energy work, meditative guided practices through our sessions. And I worked with clients that had some pretty heavy stuff, whether it was medical, childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and all of the various things. They were in a big transition phase in their life, and noticed that I found myself at pivotal points in people's lives when they're going through huge transitions, and being able to help support and guide in that way. But I also felt like I had to minimize my capacity because working with energy is not so mainstream in the mental health field. They say mindfulness, when really mindfulness is such a westernized title for it. I don't resonate, but I felt like I had to use the terminology just because I was in that field. I know there's so much more that can impact individuals multidimensionally. So I would work through stuff with clients and guide them through different facilitations. And sometimes they were aware of, you could the subconscious work on me, and you guided me through this. And it was all a beautiful learning experience. I loved it very much. And I also felt like it was a limitation to me and what my capacity is and what I could do with clients in quantum healing, energy work, and being able to help people work through the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the physical, and all of these things as a whole being in all of these elements. Like I said, diagnosing was not my deal. I felt it in my very being that was not in resonance for my soul to diagnose people with these various ailments. And I had a few times where I had other clinicians kind of question me on why I was doing certain things, and I'm like, they're not showing symptoms. We've worked every day. I've seen this client for 3-4 months, complete total life shifts. And what was it? We were doing deep work, and I was meeting with them consistently, that they were developing the confidence to stand on their own. They were also having those connections, the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual, and not just looking at only one realm. It's looking at the entire human being. And I feel like my healing capacity is not meant to be something that's fit into a box. When you are an energy healer, when you're aware of so much more and you've done the work on yourself, I could not limit my capacity. All of these elements that make us up are also what, if we're not addressing them, are what contributes to our physical ailments, and recognizing the connection between all aspects and how that having something affect us in the spiritual or the multidimensional or a past life or whatever that's coming up can have a huge effect on what we're experiencing right now. And if we're not addressing the emotional, and all of these things can impact the physical body because they're sitting within the subconscious mind, they're sitting within our field, and we're just not aware. And so there's so much more I can do by being in my authenticity, that as being a quantum healer in this experience, to help support my clients in a way that's going to look at the entire being. And I guess I had this unconscious belief that I had to do it by the book, this structural way, get my degree, get my master's, and get my licensing, and then be able to start my practice where I could utilize all of the elements and everything I learned throughout my own healing journey and all of the modalities that I've been able to use to bring it into service. We'll say I collapsed that timeline by choosing to step out of the typical matrix system of career idea by fully stepping into what I meant to be doing. And what's in my heart and soul to be true is to be able to help people in a capacity where I am not limited or not feeling like I have to fit myself in a box to be able to help someone, when we can tap into so much more that could be causing different impacts on our life experience, and share my medicine with individuals, share my frequency, share what I've learned, and be able to help and guide people. And I'm not downing the mainstream education system. I went through that process believing that was the way I was going to get to what I desired, I guess, so to speak. But when you recognize that your energy is so much bigger, your purpose is so much bigger, your soul is so much bigger than just what's been given by society, I'll just say that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's people doing beautiful work throughout the field, throughout all of the different career paths. That's beautiful. And when you have a calling and you're being asked to step in, you either make that choice point because it may not come up again. And listening to the guidance and trusting God, trusting Source to guide you. I thought I would just share to give a little bit of insight. I know I've shared bits and pieces of my story here and there, but if you are new to my page, my name is Brittany. I am a quantum healer. Feel free to check out some of the offerings I have right now. I have pinned at the top. There's a heart healing, a system reset, and also a beautiful transmission that I'll be doing with my Sacred Sisterhood. Feel free to check that out. And with all of that, I'm sending you so much love.